Question 1. Given the circumstances, Mr. Patel is tasked with sourcing a replacement compressor for a commercial refrigeration system that has recently failed. The original compressor uses a refrigerant now classified as phased out due to environmental regulations. Which approach should Mr. Patel take when selecting the replacement compressor? A. Select an identical compressor compatible with the old refrigerant to maintain system integrity. B. Choose a compressor compatible with the updated refrigerant type and verify system component compatibility. C. Source the cheapest compressor available with similar horsepower regardless of refrigerant compatibility. D. Recommend replacing only the refrigerant without changing the compressor to minimize cost. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Selecting a replacement compressor compatible with the updated refrigerant ensures compliance with environmental regulations and system safety. Refrigerants have specific pressure and lubrication requirements that compressors must match to prevent failures. Using an identical compressor with phased-out refrigerants risks regulatory violations and system damage. Choosing based only on horsepower ignores refrigerant compatibility and could cause operational issues. Simply replacing refrigerant without addressing the compressor ignores potential incompatibilities and system efficiency losses. The best practice involves selecting parts that align with both current regulations and system design. Question 2. In light of recent developments, Newen notices that a roof of HVAC unit's condenser coil is frequently clogging with debris, causing the system to overheat and fail prematurely. As part specialist, what component or accessory should she recommend to prevent this issue effectively? A. Larger compressor to compensate for heat loss. B. Coil guard or filter to reduce debris accumulation on the condenser coil. C. Replacement condenser coils with higher fin density. D. An additional expansion valve to regulate refrigerant flow. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. While coil guards or filters are commonly used in this scenario, the core issue stems from overheating causing premature failure, which can also result from improper refrigerant flow. An additional or correctly sized expansion valve ensures proper refrigerant metering to the evaporator, reducing the condenser's workload and preventing overheating. A larger compressor or higher fin density coil does not directly address issues and may increase system stress or clogging. Proper refrigerant flow control via expansion valves is a key part of maintaining efficient heat exchange and system longevity. Question 3. When considering the use of different refrigerants in residential HVAC systems, what key factor must be evaluated to ensure the safety and compatibility of the parts involved? A. The thermal conductivity of the refrigerant only. B. The system pressure ratings and lubricant compatibility. C. The color coding of refrigerant cylinders for identification. D. The popularity of the refrigerant in the market. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. System pressure ratings and lubricant compatibility are critical factors as refrigerants operate at different pressures and require specific lubricants for compressor longevity and safety. The color coding of refrigerant cylinders is a safety practice for correct identification but does not ensure system compatibility. Thermal conductivity alone is insufficient to determine system compatibility. Market popularity. Irrelevant to system safety and performance. Evaluating pressure and lubricant compatibility is fundamental to part selection when changing refrigerants to prevent leaks, compressor failure, or hazards. Question 4. During the process of diagnosing an HVAC system malfunction, ISTA discovers that the system is cycling on and off frequently, causing wear on electrical contacts. Which component is most likely the root cause, and what should ISTA recommend replacing? A. Faulty thermostat causing incorrect temperature readings. B. A malfunctioning compressor relay or contactor. C. A clogged air filter reducing airflow. D. A leaking expansion valve causing low refrigerant flow. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Frequent cycling often results from airflow restrictions such as a clogged air filter, which causes the system to overheat or fail to maintain proper temperature, triggering short cycling. Although faulty thermostats and relays can cause cycling, airflow restriction is a common root cause, impacting efficiency and stressing electrical components. A leaking expansion valve affects refrigerant flow, leading to cooling issues, but directly causing frequent cycling. Proper airflow is critical for system balance, and fills should be recommended for replacement to avoid wear on electrical contacts. Question 5. Under the assumption that an HVACR parts specialist is asked to cross-reference a specific blower motor from one manufacturer to an equivalent from another, what key specifications must be considered to ensure proper replacement? A. Motor color and brand only. B. Voltage, RPM, frame size, and shaft diameter. C. Price and availability. D. Warranty period and shipping time. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. When cross-referencing blower motors, critical technical specifications such as voltage, RPM, rotations per minute, frame size, and shaft diameter must match to guarantee proper fit and performance. Color and brand do not ensure compatibility or function. Pricing and warranty are business considerations but cannot guarantee proper system operation. Shipping time is logistical but irrelevant to technical compatibility. Proper technical matching avoids installation issues and system failures. Question 6. From the perspective of regulatory compliance, Mr. Hernandez needs to order refrigerant for servicing a residential AC unit. Which practice ensures compliance and safety? A. Ordering bulk refrigerant without documentation to reduce costs. B. Verifying refrigerant certification, tracking usage, and following HEPA guidelines. C. Purchasing refrigerant from the cheapest supplier regardless of origin. D. Refilling the system with any available refrigerant type. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Ordering refrigerant without documentation or ignoring HEPA guidelines risks environmental harm and legal penalties. Purchasing cheap refrigerant without certification can lead to counterfeit or contaminated products. Refilling with the wrong refrigerant type may cause system damage and safety hazards. Proper practice involves verifying the refrigerant is certified, tracking usage according to regulations, ensuring safe handling, compliance maintains safety, system integrity, and legal operation. Question 7. As illustrated by recent equipment failures, a technician notices that the evaporator fan motor in a residential heat pump runs intermittently and causes uneven airflow. What part or issue should be investigated and potentially replaced? A. Faulty fan motor capacitor. B. Expansion valve stuck open. C. Refrigerant leak in the evaporator coil. D. Thermostat wiring error. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A faulty fan motor capacitor often causes the fan motor not to start or run weakly, but usually leads to continuous failure rather than intermittent. An expansion valve stuck open disrupts refrigerant flow, causing the system to cycle improperly and resulting in uneven airflow due to fluctuating coil temperatures. Refrigerant leaks affect cooling but not directly fan motor operation. Thermostat wiring cause control issues but not specifically intermittent fan motor operation. The expansion valve's condition directly impacts airflow consistency. Question 8. With respect to electrical principles, an HVACR parts specialist is reviewing a schematic where a resistor is used in a control circuit, which describes the primary function of the resistor in this application. A. To increase voltage in the circuit. B. To reduce current flow and protect components. C. To store electrical energy temporarily. D. To switch the circuit on and off. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. A resistor's primary function is to reduce current flow and drop voltage to protect circuit components. It cannot increase voltage. That is the role of transformers or power supplies. Storing electrical energy is a function of capacitors, not resistors. Switching circuits on and off is performed by relays, switches, or contactors. Misunderstanding resistor roles can lead to improper troubleshooting or component selection. Question 9. Considering the evidence from equipment lifecycle studies, Garcia is advising on inventory control for critical HVACR parts. Which inventory strategy best balances parts availability and minimizing waste? A. Stocking large quantities of all parts to avoid delays. B. Just-in-time JIT inventory with reliable supplier relationships. C. Ordering parts only when complete system failure occurs. D. Maintaining a minimal parts inventory and relying solely on emergency shipments. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. While stocking large quantities avoids delays, it increases holding costs and risk of obsolescence. Just-in-time JIT inventory reduces waste and optimizes cash flow by ordering parts as needed, relying on strong supplier reliability, which is preferred. Ordering only after failure causes costly downtime and customer dissatisfaction. Minimal inventory with emergency shipments can lead to service delays. JIT is a best practice balancing availability and waste reduction, especially for critical parts. Question 10. In the context of emerging technologies, Mr. Kim is asked to recommend parts for integrating smart thermostats into an existing HVAC system. What accessory must be included to ensure full compatibility and functionality? A. Standard 24-volt thermostat wire only. B. A C-wire, common wire, or power adapter for continuous power supply. C. Additional relays to handle increased load. D. Replacement of the furnace control board entirely. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Smart thermostats require a continuous 24-volt power supply, typically delivered via a C-wire. Without it, thermostats may lose power or function intermittently. Standard 24-volt wiring without a C-wire cannot supply continuous power. Additional relays or replacing the control board are not necessarily required unless the system lacks basic wiring compatibility. Ensuring proper power through C-wire or adapter is critical for smart thermostat performance and user experience. Question 11. From the perspective of system components, Mr. Evans is replacing an expansion valve in a commercial HVAC system that has inconsistent cooling performance. What is the most important factor Mr. Evans should consider when selecting the replacement valve? A. The valve's compatibility with the system refrigerant and capacity rating. B. The color and brand of the valve to match existing parts. C. The physical size of the valve housing only. D. The warranty period offered by the manufacturer. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The critical factors when replacing an expansion valve are refrigerant compatibility and capacity rating to ensure it can regulate refrigerant flow correctly for system load. Incorrect capacity or incompatible refrigerant type can cause improper superheat, leading to poor cooling or compressor damage. The color, brand, size, or warranty are secondary and do not guarantee functional compatibility. Proper selection based refrigerant type and capacity ensures system efficiency and longevity. Question 12. In a context of electrical principles, Brooks observes that a motor in an HVAC system is drawing excessive current. Which component should be checked or replaced to address this issue? A. The fuse protecting the circuit. B. The motor's start capacitor or windings for possible faults. C. The thermostat sensor. D. The refrigerant expansion device. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Excessive current draw from the motor commonly results from internal motor issues such as faulty start capacitors or damaged windings. A blown fuse protects the circuit but does not cause overcurrent itself. The thermostat sensor monitors temperature but does not directly affect motor current. The refrigerant expansion device controls refrigerant flow and is unrelated to motor electrical characteristics. D. Motor components is essential to resolving current overdraw and preventing failures. Question 13. Given the circumstances, Mr. Zheng must select a refrigerant for a new energy-efficient residential AC system that minimizes environmental impact. Which type of refrigerant should he prioritize? A. Chlorofluorocarbon CFC refrigerants. B. Hydrochlorofluorocarbon HFC refrigerants. C. Hydrofluorocarbon HFC refrigerants with low global warming potential. D. Ammonia-based refrigerants regardless of toxicity. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Hydrofluorocarbon refrigerants with low global warming potential are preferred for energy-efficient systems due to environmental regulations targeting ozone depletion and climate change. EFCS HAFCS are being phased out due to high ozone depletion. It has zero ozone impact, but is toxic and typically used in industrial, not residential, systems. Selecting refrigerants with low ions and sustainability goals and regulatory compliance. Question 14. When analyzing system operation, Williams notices that an HVAC unit is not maintaining set temperature, and the technician reports the expansion valve is not modulating correctly. Which part-related issue most likely causes this symptom? A. The expansion valve sensing bulb is improperly positioned or damaged. B. The compressor is oversized. C. The thermostat is incorrectly calibrated. D. The condenser coil is oversized for the system. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. An oversized compressor causes rapid cycling in improper refrigerant flow, making the expansion valve ineffective at modulation, resulting in temperature fluctuations. Incorrect bulb positioning or damage affects the valve but would typically stop operation altogether. Thermostat calibration errors affect temperature settings but do not directly impair valve function. An oversized condenser coil generally improves rejection but does not cause expansion valve modulation failure. Proper system component sizing is critical. Question 15. In the framework of troubleshooting common malfunctions, Mr. Martinez is addressing an HVAC unit that frequently trips the circuit breaker. Which parts should be inspected first to resolve the issue? A. The air filter and thermostat settings. B. The compressor motor windings and contactor coil. C. The refrigerant charge and expansion valve. D. The condenser fan blades and housing. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Frequent brake trips often indicate electrical overload, which commonly relates to compressor motor faults or contactor coil issues causing excess current. Air filters and thermostat settings influence system efficiency but rarely cause breaker trips. Refrigerant charge and expansion valves affect cooling but not directly electrical overloads. Condenser fan blades influence cooling efficiency, but mechanical issues here rarely cause electrical breaker trips. Checking electrical motor components is the priority. Question 16. According to recent studies, a parts specialist is reviewing the role of thermostats in multi-stage HVAC systems. What accessory should be recommended to optimize control and compatibility? A. Standard single-stage thermostat. B. A thermostat compatible with multi-stage system control and capable of modulating outputs. C. A basic manual thermostat with on-off functionality. D. An older mechanical thermostat to reduce cost. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. Multi-stage HVAC systems require thermostats that can communicate multiple stages of heating or cooling to optimize performance and energy efficiency. Single-stage or manual thermostats cannot leverage these capabilities fully. Older mechanical thermostats are incompatible with digital or multi-stage systems and reduce system effectiveness. Investing in compatible thermostats improves comfort, system life, and energy savings. Proper part selection is essential for advanced system controls. Question 17. With respect to safety protocols, Mr. O'Connor is advising new technician on handling refrigerants during parts replacement, which practice must be emphasized to prevent environmental damage and personal injury. A. Vent refrigerants directly into the atmosphere to reduce system pressure. B. Use recovery equipment certified for the refrigerant type of wear personal protective equipment PPE. C. Avoid wearing gloves to improve dexterity when handling parts. D. Dispose of used refrigerant containers in regular trash bins. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Safe refrigerant handling requires using certified recovery equipment to capture refrigerants and avoid atmospheric release, protecting the environment and complying with regulations. Wearing PPE protects technicians from chemical exposure and injury. Venting refrigerants is illegal and environmentally harmful. Disposing refrigerant containers improperly risks contamination and violates disposal laws. Essential for safety, and removing them endangers the technician. Emphasizing safety procedures prevents accidents and environmental damage. Question 18. Based on the information provided, Lopez is selecting a filter dryer for a heat pump system that has shown signs of moisture contamination. What characteristic of the filter dryer is most important for this application? A. Its physical size to fit the system. B. Its moisture-absorbing capacity and chemical compatibility with the refrigerant and oil. C. Its color coding to match system components. D. Its ability to reduce refrigerant pressure. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Filter dryers must have adequate moisture-absorbing capacity and be chemically compatible with the system refrigerant and lubricants to prevent corrosion and component damage. Physical size is important for fitting but secondary to functional compatibility. Color coding assists identification but is not critical. Filter dryers do not reduce refrigerant pressure, that is the role of expansion devices. Proper selection based moisture capacity and compatibility ensures system reliability and longevity. Question 19. Considering the evidence from industry best practices, Mr. Singh is managing inventory for an HVACR parts department. What is the best approach to minimize obsolete stock while ensuring availability of critical parts? A. Maintain just-in-time inventory levels combined with regular supplier communication and forecasting. B. Overstock critical parts to avoid any potential shortage. C. Avoid ordering parts unless there is a confirmed immediate need. D. Rely on emergency orders from multiple suppliers without stock. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Overstocking parts leads to excessive holding costs and potential obsolescence. Just-in-time inventory combined with supplier communication and demand forecasting optimizes stock levels, reduces waste, and improves service levels. Ordering parts only upon immediate need risks downtime and service delays. Relying on emergency orders is costly and unreliable. Effective inventory management balances availability and minimizes obsolete stock to ensure operational efficiency. Question 20. To illustrate this point, Carter is selecting tools and equipment for her HVACR parts department. Which factor should take priority when choosing diagnostic tools? A. The lowest cost tool regardless of features. B. The tool's compatibility with the most commonly serviced system types and diagnostic capabilities. C. The brand popularity among technicians. D. The tool's aesthetic design and portability only. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Diagnostic tools must match the system types commonly serviced to provide accurate, reliable data. Features like multifunction diagnostics and user-friendly interfaces enhance troubleshooting efficiency. Cost is a consideration but should not outweigh capability and compatibility. Brand popularity does not guarantee suitability. Aesthetics and portability are secondary. Selecting the right tools and diagnostic accuracy and reduces repair times, benefiting both technicians and customers. Question 21. From the perspective of refrigerant handling, Mr. Silva needs to transfer refrigerant from one system to another during maintenance. What is the most important procedure he must follow to ensure safety and compliance? A. Use recovery equipment certified for the specific refrigerant and avoid venting to the atmosphere. B. Vent the refrigerant outside the building to prevent indoor contamination. C. Transfer refrigerant without verifying system pressure compatibility. D. Mix refrigerants from different systems to simplify storage. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Using certified recovery equipment designed for the specific refrigerant prevents harmful releases into the environment and ensures regulatory compliance. Venting refrigerants, even outside, is illegal and environmentally damaging. Transferring refrigerant without checking pressure compatibility risks system damage and safety hazards. Mixing refrigerants is unsafe and causes system malfunctions. Proper recovery and handling are critical for technicians' safety and environmental protection. Question 22. In terms of system components, Alvarez is selecting a condenser fan motor replacement for a residential heat pump that runs intermittently. Which characteristic is most critical to verify before ordering the replacement? A. Voltage rating, horsepower, and rotation direction. B. Brand and color of the motor housing. C. Price and warranty length. D. Physical size only. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Voltage rating, horsepower, and rotation direction are vital electrical and mechanical characteristics that determine motor function and compatibility. Brand and color have no bearing on performance. Price and warranty are secondary business factors. Physical size ensures the motor fits into the existing mounting and ductwork. Incorrect size leads to installation issues or system inefficiencies. Prioritizing electrical specs. Fitment prevents failures and ensures reliable operation. Question 23. When considering psychrometrics, Mr. Harris evaluates how changes in temperature and humidity affect system performance. Which component's function is most directly impacted by these factors? A. The expansion valve. B. The evaporator coil. C. The condenser fan motor. D. The compressor overload protector. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The evaporator coil's heat absorption capacity is directly affected by air temperature and humidity, influencing cooling load. The expansion valve regulates refrigerant but is indirectly impacted by air conditions. The condenser fan motor is responsible for rejecting heat and its efficiency can vary with ambient air conditions. The compressor overload protector protects the compressor motor electrically but is not influenced by psychrometric conditions. Understanding air properties is essential for proper component selection and system design. Question 24. Based on the information, Patel is tasked with replacing a capacitor in an HVAC blower motor circuit. Which capacitor type should she prioritize for optimal motor start and run performance? A. Electrolytic capacitor. B. Oil-filled run capacitor. C. Aluminum electrolytic capacitor. D. Paper capacitor. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Oil-filled run capacitors are standard in HVAC motors for continuous operation, providing stable capacitance and reliability. Electrolytic capacitors are typically used for start capacitors, supplying a short burst of power to help the motor start. Aluminum electrolytic and paper capacitors are outdated or less reliable in HVAC applications. Selecting the correct capacitor type based on its intended start or run ensures motor efficiency and longevity. Question 25. As demonstrated by recent diagnostics, Mr. Johnson finds that the system's pressure switch is frequently opening prematurely, causing system shutdowns. What is the most plausible part-related cause? A. A malfunctioning expansion valve causing low pressure. B. An incorrectly sized pressure switch for the system specifications. C. A dirty condenser coil increasing pressure. D. A failing compressor motor bearing. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A pressure switch must be appropriately sized and calibrated to the system's operating pressures. If undersized or mismatched, it will open prematurely, causing unnecessary shutdowns. Malfunctioning expansion valve or dirty condenser coil affects system pressures, but typically would not cause frequent switch openings if the switch is correctly rated. Compressor motor bearing failure affects mechanical function, but not directly pressure behavior. Correct component specification is essential. Question 26. Considering the evidence, Kim recommends replacing a one-blower wheel in a commercial rooftop unit. Which issue will the replacement most effectively address? A. Reduced airflow causing poor system efficiency. B. Refrigerant leaks in the evaporator coil. C. Electrical shorts in the control circuit. D. Thermostat sensor malfunctions. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. A one-blower wheel primarily causes reduced airflow, which decreases heat transfer efficiency and overall system performance. Refrigerant leaks and electrical shorts are unrelated to blower wheel condition. Thermostat sensors govern control signals but do not influence mechanical airflow components. Proper blower wheel replacement restores airflow and system balance, improving comfort and reducing energy consumption. Question 27. From a practical standpoint, Mr. Wilson needs to cross-reference a replacement compressor for a specific HVAC unit. Which specification must he confirm first to ensure correct cross-referencing? A. Compressor capacity, tonnage, and refrigerant type. B. The price of the replacement compressor. C. The manufacturer brand. D. Physical color and labeling. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Compressor capacity and refrigerant type are fundamental technical specs for cross-referencing and ensuring system compatibility. Price, brand, color, and labeling are less relevant and cannot guarantee proper fit or function. Prioritizing accurate capacity and refrigerant compatibility avoids installation problems and system damage. Cross-referencing is a technical process requiring precise data matching superficial attributes. Question 20. In a modern context of HVAC system components, Torres must select the appropriate pressure relief device for A refrigeration system. What is the primary purpose of this device? A. To regulate refrigerant flow into the evaporator. B. To prevent system pressure from exceeding safe limits and causing rupture. C. To control compressor start and stop cycles. D. To improve energy efficiency by optimizing pressure. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Pressure relief devices protect the system by releasing excess pressure to prevent mechanical failure or explosion. Regulating refrigerant flow is the function of expansion devices, not pressure relief. Compressor cycling is controlled by thermostats or control boards. Energy efficiency improvements come from optimized system design, but not pressure relief devices. Safety devices like pressure relief valves are critical for preventing catastrophic failures. Question 29. In the absence of a factory manual, Istali is trying to identify a replacement evaporator coil for a residential AC. What is the most reliable method to ensure proper fit and function? A. Measuring coil dimensions, refrigerant type, and connection sizes. B. Selecting the coil based on brand reputation. C. Choosing the coil with the lowest price. D. Picking a coil that looks similar. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Accurate measurement of coil physical size, refrigerant compatibility, and connection types ensures proper installation and system performance. Brand reputation, price, or visual similarity do not guarantee technical compatibility. Incorrect coil selection can cause leaks, inefficiency, or system damage. Proper parts identification is fundamental to successful HVACR repairs and replacements. Question 30. Taking into account safety and handling guidelines, which of the following is the best practice when storing HVACR refrigerant cylinders? A. Store cylinders in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area away from ignition sources. B. Store cylinders in direct sunlight to keep them warm. C. Store cylinders lying flat to save space. D. Store cylinders near electrical panels for easy access. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Refrigerant cylinders must be stored upright in well-ventilated, cool and dry areas away from heat or ignition sources to prevent pressure buildup and accidental ignition. Direct sunlight increases pressure, risking rupture. Storing cylinders flat can cause valve damage or leaks. Proximity to electrical panels creates hazards in case of leaks. Proper storage ensures safety, prolongs cylinder life, and complies regulations.